Good morning. Great to be with you again. It's the Open the Book team. Do you remember them? Now, I'm not sure where they've gone, to be honest. Somewhere around here. Let's have a quick scan, and you might just be able to see roughly where you live also, because you can see where we are. There's the self-storage, the near to B&Q, and then if we just pan over a little bit slowly, there's Longwell Green, warmly in the background, all the way around. Bars Court we've seen, we might have seen St. Anne's already, all these different places. And it might be that we're sending this video to Mangotsfield for the first time. So a big shout out to Mangotsfield. If you're from Mangotsfield, very welcome to this assembly that we do. You should be somewhere just behind those big yellow self-storage places. Anyway, so I don't know if you've ever been tempted to do something that you know is wrong. I think all of us have. But the man we're going to find out about now, well, he was told, well, they made a law in the country where he was living in, a place called Babylon, that said everybody had to pray to the king, as though the king was a god. And Daniel, he knew God, and he knew this would be wrong. So he didn't do it. The problem is, if you didn't obey it, the law said you'd be thrown into a den of lions. Goodness. Now, if you are one of the children of Longwell Green, you may well have one of two Bibles, depending on your age. If you have the older children's Bible, then you'll find this on page 842, this story. We're not making it up. And if you're a younger child, a bigger children's Bible with lots of big pictures, then you'll see it on page 194.
Daniel missed his home in Jerusalem, but he wanted to please God wherever he was. So he worked hard at the jobs he was given. So hard that he became one of the king's own helpers. But he never forgot about God, nor failed to pray to him morning, noon, and night. Some of the king's men were jealous of Daniel. They wanted his job for themselves. So they talked the king into making a new law, a law which said, no one is allowed to pray to anyone but the king himself.
We've got Daniel now.
His enemies laughed. So they had. For the very next morning, Daniel knelt by his window, bowed his head and prayed, not to the king, but to God.
Thank you for taking care of us in this far away land. Forgive us, and please take us back to our own land soon.
Daniel's enemies were watching, and before he could even open his eyes, they grabbed him and dragged him in front of the king. The king was sad, very sad. He liked Daniel, but he could not break his own law.
Oh, Daniel must be punished. Oh. Okay. Throw him into the lion pit. Oh.
But even as the king gave the order, he whispered a prayer that no one could hear. A prayer to Daniel's God, that somehow Daniel might be saved.
The pit was dark. The pit was deep. The lions covered its floor like a shaggy, growling carpet. They leapt to their feet in a second when Daniel landed among them. They licked their lips. They showed their teeth. Their eyes shone bright and fierce. They opened their mouths and moved towards their dinner. And then they stopped.
Shoo! Scat! Go away!
Shouted a voice right behind Daniel. The lions' mouths snapped shut. Their tails drooped, and they whimpered away to the corners of the cave. Slowly, Daniel turned around and looked up into the face of an enormous angel.
Nothing to worry about now. God sent me to watch over you. Why don't you get some sleep?
Oh,
Next morning, the king cheered when he discovered that Daniel was still alive.
quick, quick, pull Daniel out right now. And while you're at it, I want you to take those men who talked me into this really silly idea and throw them into the lion's pit. Ah, Daniel, great to see you.
Meanwhile, Daniel's enemies cried for help, and the lions enjoyed their breakfast.
And Daniel proved, I suppose, to all of us, really, the importance of doing the right thing. So just close your eyes for a moment and think of a time when you had to be brave. Just close your eyes for a moment. Think of a time when you had to be brave. I'm going to say a prayer. If you agree, you can say Amen at the end. Dear God, sometimes people try to make us do the wrong thing. Please help us to be brave and stand up for what we should do so that we do the right thing. Amen. Well, have a wonderful week, and remember that you have it in you, with God's help, to do the right thing, even if sometimes people want you to do the wrong thing. Take care. See you again soon. Bye-bye.